Kicking off our line of local content, the Lloydminster Fire Service responded to 776 calls in 2021, which is a 17% increase from the prior year. For more on the local fire department, here's Jace Mackey.
Less calls to the fire department would be better news.
That blunt assessment comes from the mayor after Lloydminster's fire chief presented the city's 2021 fire numbers. The department saw a 17% increase in calls for service last year. 64 of those calls were for fires. That's up by 6%. And the service says they saved an estimated $30 million of property and content loss from fires.
Our response times were good. The actions taken by our firefighters to protect property when there is involved in a fire.
Looking at some other increases, electrical hazard calls were up by 60%. Motor vehicle collisions saw a 26% bump, and the department responded to 55% more medical assists. The fire chief says those medical assist calls are for either helping EMS crews carry a patient, responding to a heart attack victim, or overdoses.
As the fire chief said, it's about a third between those three areas: EMS, heart attacks, and drug overdoses. And one of those certainly bothered me more than others, and that's the drug overdoses.
The fire service took part in several training exercises last year, including a focus on heavy equipment rescue. The mayor praised the service for their work on increasing inspections throughout Lloydminster, saying it's important to be proactive rather than reactive.
We also saw more inspections carried out, which is terrific because those inspections are very likely going to lead to prevention of fires.
The new fines for false alarms were also praised during the meeting as a policy that led to a decrease in false alarms. For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
February 23rd was Kindness Day across the border city. But now, two Holy Rosary students are reminding locals that it's okay to be kind all year round. Jasmine King has the details in this week's Beyond the Classroom.
For Pink Shirt Day, CITL held a challenge asking people to submit a 60-second video focusing on how words have made an impact on them. Two local students submitted their video, and at the beginning of March, they were announced as the winners. The two will receive $5,000 from CITL, $2,500 going to them, and the other half going to causes of their choice.
I picked the SPCA because I know that they can always use the donations and that they have they're doing a lot of good for the community.
Yeah, and I chose the Ronald McDonald Homes because when I was born, they really helped out my parents, and we wanted to give back to them.
The students got encouragement from their teachers to submit the video for the grant. In the video, the two spoke about how a simple compliment can have a big effect on someone and are reminding people that kindness wins.
We are really proud of them because we think the video is a true depiction of who they are. They're both genuinely just creative and kind young people. And we're really happy to see that be acknowledged. They're also members of our KIP team, which is Kindness's Power Team.
To continue spreading kindness at school, both girls will head to elementaries across the division, teaching younger kids about why it's important to be kind.
We went to the youth center and we did like 2 or 3 days of training where we learned about this whole program and like all the different topics we're going to discuss with these children, and then pretty much everything that we learned within 2 days, we tell these kids within like an hour, and we play some games with them, and then we kind of just,
Yeah, just overall sending them a message of spreading kindness and trying to promote that in elementary schools.
For this week's Beyond the Classroom, I'm Jasmine King.
At Lakeland College, our students are challenged to go beyond the classroom, so when industry knocks, they're ready to thrive. Learn more at lakelandcollege.ca.
A large percentage of women experience discomfort from wearing the wrong size of a certain piece of clothing. But a woman from Vermilion is helping ladies fix that problem, as our Stacey Comer has the interview.
I'm pleased to be joined today on Primetime Local News from Darcy Deep with Perfectly Mentionables in Vermilion. Darcy, thank you for speaking with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Darcy, we want to talk today about women and getting bras properly fitted. This is a big issue, and I think it's an issue that a lot of women don't even really know they have. But this is what you specialize in at your store in Vermilion. So tell me a little bit about the bra fitting process in your store.
All right. So generally women come in Oftentimes they think that they're wearing something that is their best fit. And then we go through the process of just running a simple tape measure and talking about different things about fit and preference in style, things that they like, things that they don't like. And oftentimes we find that people have been wearing something that hasn't fit properly. And once they have something on that does, they generally don't want to go back.
Now, tell me, we were talking about some of the statistics, Darcy, of the number of women who actually don't wear bras that fit them properly, and it's actually astounding. How many, or what do you think the percentages of women who don't have properly fitting bras?
They say that it's 80% of women that are in an improper fit.
And that's pretty crazy when you think about it. It's a lot of
Mhm.
people that are probably going through uncomfort that they don't need to. What are some of the effects, Darcy, if you're not wearing something that's fitted properly, the effects that that can have on you?
So, depending on the body, it can really have an impact on posture, the way that you carry yourself, obviously, the way that you feel underneath of your clothes, just walking around in your day to day life. If you've had breast surgery or back surgery, or if you have scoliosis, there's a variety of conditions that it can be aggravated actually by wearing an improper fit as well.
So when people come to your store, Darcy, do they need to book ahead of time if they want to have a fitting, or can they just show up and then maybe talk with you and come back later, or get the fitting right then and there? Or how does that work right there?
We have both options. So we have the options to book online and then you have your time set. You also can come as a walk-in client and we'll get you in as soon as we can. Vermilion has tons of great businesses, so you're welcome to walk around and check other things out and then come back to us when it's your time.
If some women might be a little bit, not comfortable, I guess, with this whole procedure, can you tell me how it works as far as the comfort level goes? Like, it's not something where everybody in the store is watching you. You can go into a fitting room and get it done.
Absolutely. So it is private and we keep it as modest as we can. So we are in an area that no one else in the store can get to and everything's curtained off. So generally it's just the fitter and the one person. And we do deal with people one-on-one only, not in groups. So just for their comfort and depending on modesty, some women choose to maybe leave a tank top on or something like that. And it might take a little longer to get to the right fit, but we can make it work.
So then, do you have the bras in stock that women can then try after you do the measurements as well?
That's right. That's how it works. You come in, we fit you, and then we bring you what would fit your body.
Do you find that a lot of women, Darcy, are surprised when they actually get a proper fitting and don't realize how comfortable they could have been?
Almost all. So many women tell us that by 10 a.m. or by noon, they want to take their bra for the day, and that should never be the case.
Well, Darcy, if people are looking to book an appointment or they, want to talk to you more about this, what is the best way to reach you?
So we're online. Our website is perfectlymentionables.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. You're welcome to call in. Our number is listed on those places as well.
And where is the store located in Vermilion? What's the physical address?
4913 50th Avenue.
All right, Darcy. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. I know this is something that, maybe some people don't think about or women just go about in discomfort. So now they have a place to go. They have a reason to visit you. So we'll hope that they can take advantage of that. And thank you again for talking about this issue with us. And hopefully we've saved a lot of women a lot of trouble.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now we'll check in with Shelby Clark once again for weather.
Kate Laycraft. Now taking another look at your weather forecast. We'll be starting off with the central region of our provinces, and on the Alberta side we are seeing some beautiful temperatures today for sure compared to what we have been seeing throughout the week. We have been seeing some warmer temperatures. We're seeing those double-digit spots in most of the spots on the map here. Red Deer and Edson are at 14-15 degrees, 12 in both Athabasca and Jasper. Rocky Mount House at 16, while Edmonton has almost reached that 20-degree point, and Whitecourt is seeing slightly cooler, but still at that plus temperature with 8 degrees. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are seeing those plus temperatures as well, but definitely cooled down compared to the Alberta side with 3 in Melfort, 4 in North Battleford and Prince Albert, 8 in Saskatoon, while Meadow Lake is just hitting 5 degrees, and Cold Lake has just hit that 10-degree mark. Now going over to our northern region now, they are looking a lot warmer than what they are used to seeing, especially compared to the central zone. They are even looking warmer than the central zone for the Saskatchewan side. Flin Flon is at 6 degrees, while Wollaston Lake is at 7. 2 and 4 in Stony Rapids and Uranium City, while South End is just hitting that 10-degree mark. 13 in La Ronge, and Buffalo Nurse and La Loche both sitting at 14 degrees. Now going over to this side here, they are seeing those plus temperatures, but they have cooled down just a bit from what we were looking at before. Grand Prairie is at 8 degrees, while Slave Lake is just hitting 9. 7 in Peace River, and Fort McMurray is seeing the warmest at that 15-degree mark. Fort Chipewyan is a lot cooler, seeing 3, and high levels even reach past that minus point, seeing minus 3 degrees. Now going over to our southern region now, they are still looking quite warm. You know, we're a little bit jealous over here, seeing what they are sitting at, but the Alberta side for the central zone is still seeing those warm temperatures compared. Medicine Hat has even reached 21 degrees, 17 in Lethbridge, while Calgary is at 18, 12 in Banff, and it is 15 degrees up in Coronation. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing some warm temperatures. Most spots are seeing those double digits, except for Yorkton and Regina. They are seeing slightly cooler temps with 6 and 4. 11 in Estevan, while it's 14 up in Kindersley, and the rest are seeing 16 degrees. Now going back across the region to see what we will expect throughout the evening and throughout the night tonight. I think we will be pretty happy with our temperatures, but it will be kind of a sad night for this week, since most spots will be seeing some freezing rain start off in the middle of the night, and it may turn into some flurries. Now most spots will be seeing a low of that 0 mark, while the rest will be slightly cooler. Munor Provost will be seeing a low of -1, while Meadow Lake will be seeing a low of -2, and Isla Cross will be expecting to see a low of -3, and Wainwright will actually be seeing a low of 2 degrees. But all spots will be seeing those that freezing rain start off throughout the night that will possibly turn into flurries. Then tomorrow morning they will be seeing those flurries kind of continue on, so we will be seeing some icier conditions. So I hope everybody will be careful out there. Make sure you watch where you are walking, and you be careful out there on those roads when you're driving. And now looking at temperatures tomorrow, we will be ranging from around 3 to 5 degrees in most spots on the map, so we will cool down just slightly. And then looking at our 3-day forecast for here in the border city, we will be seeing 3 degrees tomorrow with a mix of some sun and cloud, and seeing those flurries starting off in the morning, which hopefully will melt down. Then Friday and Saturday, we will cool down just a bit for our weekend at -1 on Friday and -3 on Saturday. That is another look at your weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Stephanie Dobson is back with us again this week for another episode of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce. Stephanie is a lawyer and mediator here with Hanka Divorce Law and Mediation in Lloydminster. And today we're going to start a 2-part series talking about the top 5 questions asked when going through divorce or separation. So Stephanie, let's talk about question number 1, where you have it listed as I'm separating. What type of professional should I hire, and when should I hire them?
Well, the first thing I want to address in this particular question is what I call the cause and effect nature of this question. So for many people, they'll recognize that they're separating, and then they automatically assume that the next step is to hire a lawyer and to do it right away. So what I thought I would do is just expand our viewers' frame of reference of the types of professionals that they can hire. And this is really, really important in my opinion. Your experience going through the journey from together to separated or divorced will be shaped by the type of professional that you choose. So there's a couple of different types of professionals. So one would be a lawyer and one would be a mediator, which a lot of our viewers will be familiar with. But even within the realm of lawyers, there's ones who focus on different negotiation processes. So some lawyers focus on using the court process to get resolution, and some lawyers focus on staying out of court. So in the case of my firm, which is Hanka Divorce Law and Mediation, all of the services that we offer are out of court negotiation processes. So our services might be right for some families and certainly not for others. But the question then of when to hire that divorce professional is really dependent on the situation. I always recommend that people get in to meet with someone as soon as possible, even if that's before the separation happens. For most people, separation and divorce is a foreign world, and the sooner that you can get professional guidance, the more informed and empowered you'll be to make the best possible decisions for your family.
And question number 2, Stephanie, is do I have to go to court? I think a lot of people think that automatically you have to go to court through this process. So what is the answer to that question?
Well, again, it's another cause and effect. And I get this question all the time, especially because one of the first things that I tell potential new clients is that I don't have a court practice. So their typical response is, well, I don't want to go to court. So that's perfect. But there's a little bit more to it. So there's 2 reasons that you might need to go to court. So one is to get a judge to help you to arrive at resolution, to give you a court order on certain topics like spousal support or parenting or something. The other is to actually file your paperwork to formalize your separation or divorce. So in the context of whether you need to go to court to get a judge to provide you with resolution, this can be a tricky question. And the issue of need is often dependent on your situation. And it's also dependent on how willing and able you and your former spouse are to coming to that negotiation table. So I help families in all sorts of out-of-court settings. So there can be lots of trust, no trust. Lots of conflict, generally amicable. You can like one another or you can dislike one another. The commonality about staying out of court for my clients is that both spouses are willing to come to that table to deal with the issues that need to be dealt with and commit to that until mutual agreement is reached. So court may be necessary in a few different situations. I'll give you some examples now. So one spouse might be resisting something, or they might be patently unreasonable, or they may be making decisions unilaterally that detriment the whole family. So even if one spouse wants to stay out of court, court may in fact be the only place that you can get resolution because you need a judge to help you.
Now, is there a difference depending on whether you live in Alberta or Saskatchewan? It's something obviously in Lloydminster that we're kind of used to dealing with, but what's the difference depending on the province that you live in?
Well, the answer, of course, is most definitely yes. So at our office, as you say, just living in a border city, it's always one of the first questions that we ask because, first of all, there's different procedural rules in each province. And second of all, there's different laws that we have to follow depending on the province where you live. So for starters, the procedural rules. So for example, married couples who are wanting to get a divorce will need to file their paperwork through the court set up in the province of their residence. So we talked a moment ago about whether separating couples need to go to court. So in the context of filing the paperwork, yes, you'll have to file the paperwork in the court where one of you has lived for at least 1 year. Now, of course, that's in the context of divorce. So if neither of you have lived in your province for a full year, then in fact, you can't file that divorce paperwork until that threshold has been met. So another difference is the laws. So of course, as our viewers will be familiar that there's federal laws and then there's provincial laws. So for topics like parenting, child support, and spousal support, the Federal Divorce Act applies to spouses who are married and looking to get a divorce. So this means that technically the wording of that Divorce Act is the same for residents in both provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan. However, the way that the court applies those rules is different in each province. So for those of you who are unmarried, you'd be looking to provincial legislation. Division of assets is another one, just I wanted to touch on right at the tail end here. That's also under provincial jurisdiction. So it does matter whether you live in Alberta or Saskatchewan because the laws are very different in each of those provinces.
All right, Stephanie, well, thank you so much for joining us today. And when we come back next week, we will continue this discussion. There's so much to always consider when it comes to this subject. So we'll speak with you more on this again next week.
Great. Thanks for having me, Stacey.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Today for Primetime Local News, I'm joined with Nadine Chiasson with Lowe's Canada to talk about their hiring event coming up. So first off, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this interview today.
It's a pleasure.
So I just want to start off by asking what this hiring event is all about and what will be happening during it.
Yes. So basically, it's a regional event. So it's taking place in Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. So just in Alberta, we're looking to fill over 600 positions, and we have a couple in the Lloydminster store.
And how many positions are available in the Lloydminster Rona?
Yeah, so we had many few weeks ago, but the campaign has started. So we're always hiring people. So we still have a couple left.
Okay, and what sort of positions are you guys looking to fill in the store?
The good thing is we have many different positions. So if you have experience in sales, we have sales positions available. We also have merchandising position, but we're also looking if you have no experience in home improvement, that's all good because we have seasonal jobs, part-time, full-time. So there's many choices for almost every profile of candidates.
Are you guys looking for experienced employees or somebody who might not already know how to do the job that you're looking for? Or are you looking for people that could possibly be going into this industry for the first time?
We actually offer a very customized training path. That means that even if the person doesn't have any experience in home improvement, we're all good with that. So we're taking people with good experience, with a lot of experience, with no experience. That is good. So even for people in their second careers or they're retired, either from home improvement industry or from any other industry, because we have a good training, then it's open for everyone.
Okay, and what sort of training would be required of them if they were to get a job at the Lowe's or Rona stores?
So training is including different components. So we have online training being based out here at the store, but there's a lot of shadowing as well. So with peers, with leaders, so the training is very complete, and they have all the room to ask questions, and so it's pretty interesting. I would say that in terms of retail industry, we're really good in terms of training and making sure that our people are knowing exactly what they're doing once they hit the floor to serve customers.
Okay, and where can people go to find out more about the positions available and apply for these positions?
Yeah, so they could either go online sorry about that. They could either go online at the jobs@lowescanada.ca, or best thing is if they can to just visit the store and say that they come for a job opportunity, and someone from the leadership team will be more than happy to have a chit chat with them.
Okay, and is there anything else that you would like to mention that we haven't already touched on?
Yeah, so I really encourage people to come over and meet the leadership team at Lloydminster. We're really like a great family. We have many different benefits. We have great programs for studies, recognition programs. We give badges for great customer service. So it's a really nice place to be. There's careers for those who want to grow with us. So really, there's no reason why people wouldn't come and meet us at the store.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this interview today.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Nicole. It was great to meet you.
That is all the time we have for tonight's show. So thank you to everyone for tuning in, and have a good night.